Hi, welcome to another episode of Roofing It Right with Dave and Wally. Dave, we are here today to go over some low-rise foam and some applications with different rigs.
Yes, we are.
So who do we have here today?
Nick Heshoven with Trufast. Thanks for having us here, guys.
So what is your position at Trufast?
So I work in the product development department. We're here to show you a new product that we got coming out to apply low-rise foam. This is the Trufast Adhesive Pump, or the Adhesive Tap, we call it.
Okay, so you want to go over what's needed to get this thing ready to spray?
Absolutely. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna load the drums onto the cart, and then we're gonna strap them down. Pretty easy here.
So obviously you don't want to try and load it when it's tilted down.
Correct, correct. So one strap on, second strap on, just your typical ratchet straps here. Next thing we're gonna install are the desiccant filters. Now we gotta keep the moisture out of this adhesive or else they'll start to cure up on their own. Key thing about these desiccants when you install them, you see we've already got the A side on. We'll show you how to put the B side on. You've got a little receptacle fitting that just threads right into the drum like so.
And obviously you want to do this before you tilt it up.
Correct.
Well, my question is, you have the red over here, the blue over here. What if you put the blue over here and the red over there?
Then you've got a big problem.
Okay, is there anything that indicates which side?
Absolutely. So what you see here,
Very good question, Dave.
the color of your valves needs to match the color of your drums. Blue to blue, red to red.
Ah.
You mix those up, you're gonna have cured adhesive through your whole pump, and your pump's gonna need to go back for a rebuild then. Now, when it comes to the desiccant filters, doesn't matter, it can go on either side. One key thing you gotta watch with these, when you put them on, make sure you pull that piece of tape off so they can vent. If you don't, this thing's got enough suction, it'll crush that drum down like a pop can. Look like Dave went into Hulk mode or something.
So what are these little windows for?
Great question. They tell you if this is saturated with moisture or not. When they come right out of the can, you'll see they're blue. When they get saturated, they turn pink.
Okay.
Now, how long will they last is a question we get asked.
And I'm assuming that would have to do with where you're at in the country, humidity, temperature.
Exactly. If you're in Miami in July, you might need to change these out once a day. But if you're in Pennsylvania in October, they may last a couple of weeks or up to a month. But
So basically it works from the top down with the moisture.
exactly.
Okay.
So we got the desiccants on. Now we'll show you attaching the drums and really a cool feature that's built into this cart. What we have on this cart is we call it the twist lock fitting. So instead of a threaded connection, it's just a quarter turn, which is really cool. First, we remove the plug that's in the drum. And now when you're working with adhesives, they stick to everything as they're designed to, including components of the cart. So one thing we always want to do, anywhere where there's an O-ring gasket, like on this fitting, we want to keep it greased up, and that'll help keep it clean. So give it a quick shot of grease, and then we can hook it into the drum. And literally this drops in, quarter turn, the tab locks, and you're
that's
connected. Drum's ready to go.
So that's what you want to grease right there.
Yep, let's give that a shot of grease.
Okay.
Smear it around, and it'll help keep that seal clean.
Okay, we're in, we're locked.
Now you're locked, ready to go.
Okay, so we got the drums hooked up. What do we got going on up here?
All right, so you've got some suction lines that bring it up to the physical pump itself. The pump's got a pressure gauge, a couple of pressure gauges we'll walk you through in just a second. Obviously you got your hoses that go out to your dispense gun, and on the top we got a control box.
That's it.
That's it for this. Pretty simple.
I know we had talked about this before. Let's say there's two separate pumps on this, right?
Correct.
So to replace one of these pumps, how challenging is that to replace one of these pumps?
Piece of cake. So one of the things about adhesive carts, they've got kind of a nasty reputation in the industry. And a lot of that comes from just the downtime associated with trying to maintain these things. So what we've built into this is to try and make this as user-friendly. One, make it as robust as possible, but two, it's a machine. Machines are gonna break. When it does go down, we've tried to make any component on this, you can change it in 10 minutes or less and be at backup roofing. Keep your crews roofing is what this machine is all about.
So if I got to change out this pump, do I got to take all these fittings off, all this stuff apart to actually literally get one of these pumps off here?
No. So this pump is sold as a serviceable unit, A side, B side. Anything that touches the adhesive, literally there's two bolts on the back side, you pop them out, slide the pump out, new pump in, within 10 minutes,
So
you're ready to roof again.
all ready to go. Ready to go.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Nice.
All right, now what?
Now we're ready to spray.
Okay, so now we got obviously tip this machine up.
Correct.
All right.
So now that we got the pump down, we'll show you a couple of the ergonomic features on it. It's got a handle to move it around on the deck. The handle you can move wherever you like. It's just got 2 quick release pins. Pull back on each side and you can put that wherever you want it. Again, kind of an ergonomic thing, whatever's comfortable for you.
Nice.
It does have a brake on it. So 4 wheels, if we're on a 112, 212 pitch, we don't want this thing rolling away. So it's a lot like your lawnmower. Pull the handle, it releases the brake, and you can roll it around, release the handle, you're locked back in and not going anywhere. So when we're pumping adhesives, they're really sticky, they're really gummy, and they tear up the pump as you pump. And that's a lot of what we see the downtime associated with adhesive pumps out there in the marketplace are associated with 2 things. Getting moisture in your system,
Right.
and the adhesive will start to cure up on its own in the lines. Number 2 is you tear up the pumps start to leak. Once the pumps start to leak a little bit, that cured up crystallized adhesives will just tear up your seals. You get even bigger leak, the thing starts to kind of self-destruct. One great piece of technology built into this pump is a grease bearing. So what differentiates these pumps from a lot of other technology out there in the market is instead of a traditional rubber seal, they've got a grease jacket in there. And that grease jacket really helps the longevity and reliability of these pumps. So what you want to do is a daily maintenance item. These pressure gauges, you'll notice underneath of them, there's a grease zerk. On the top of them, there's a bleed valve. So the pressure gauges should be 300, 400 PSI, something over than 250, which is the line pressure of the system. And on a daily basis, you crack open these valves and you pump a little grease through it. And what you'll see, these purge lines, you'll see the dirty grease come out of that bearing and purge out into these lines. Just purge a couple pumps through until you start to see clean grease. Once you have clean grease, close that valve back up, give it one last pump to make sure it's over 300 PSI. And essentially what you've done is you've rebuilt your pump. You've flushed out that grease pack bearing, or you've put new seals in it every single day.
You have to do the same thing for the other side too, correct?
Same thing on the A side. But this is just a really easy way to keep your pumps maintained and to keep the seals fresh and clean inside of them.
So, question for you, what happens if a guy does this and forgets to turn this purge valve back off?
Yeah, so if you forget...
Or back on, I should say.
If you forget to turn that the purge valve and close it, you're gonna have more adhesive pressure on the outside of the bearing than on the inside, and some adhesive is going to leak into it. It's not the end of the world. If you notice that, just flush some more clean grease through it. You're going to see probably a bunch of adhesive purge out of that grease bearing, but purge it clean again. And again, you've kind of done a mini rebuild on your pump right there.
So obviously you do this on a daily basis. You did it one day, forgot to turn those, close them, or whatever the case may be. You're going to find out the next day.
Exactly. You're going to see a whole lot of gunk come out of that purge line when you purge some grease through it.
So tell us about the hose.
Yeah.
I see this is, you don't change the gun, you change the whip.
Exactly.
That's excellent.
So people love pressurized canisters in the market because of their convenience. Every time you open one up, the stuff inside of it's brand new, it's clean.
Yep.
So we essentially stole as much technology from pressurized canisters as we could and put it on the end of a pump cart.
That's nice.
So you literally see identical gun and hose assembly.
Right.
This thing, you know, again, out in the field, things get beat up, things get abused, they break. So this is a quick disconnect at this right here. You've got your gun, plastic gun, and hose whips. If this thing does get damaged, put a new one on and keep roofing.
Right.
Likewise with the hose. Instead of a big stainless braided hose, which is a great hose out
Oh, it
there.
is, yeah.
But oftentimes that hose, you cross over material, it gets gummed up because of moisture before that hose ever wears out.
Yep.
So here is a hose very similar to pressure tank or canister technology you see out there. It's designed to be very cheap when it needs to be replaced. And the other thing, you see we've got a 50-foot length here. You can put up to 3 of these in line on this system to have up to 150 feet of hose.
And that will push the 150 feet.
It'll push the 150 feet about to 70 degrees. So in summertime conditions, in the wintertime, your adhesive is going to start to get a little thicker as temperatures drop, and you probably need to shorten that hose up.
Right.
Yeah, that's wintertime, everything just slows down.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
Exactly.
That's nice. Okay.
So while we're talking on the gun a little bit, we can look at some of the technology that's built into this gun as well. Again, it's a identical gun and hose that's off of canisters.
Right.
So identical setup procedure for it. What you'll see on this particular gun design is this little green cap on the end of the manifold. That green cap, it looks like it's a protective cover. It's actually not. If you squeeze it, you'll see there's 2 orifices that open up there. It's designed to be a one-way valve, so adhesive can only flow out, not back in.
Makes
static
sense.
mixer on you?
Oh, yes. How many you want?
Question here. We had talked about this is our XF adhesive.
Yes.
Can this machine be used for other adhesives? On
It
the market?
can, but we got to go back to the little piece of technology we talked about, the quick lock, or twist lock, the quick disconnect in there. If you want to use others' adhesives, you'll have to take that off
And go with a standard.
and go with a standard 3/4 inch pipe fitting on there. But you lose the convenience of that. It was kind of cool hooking up the drums. At the end, our cleanup procedures will show you what is really special about that twist lock connection.
Now
will
this
let
gun
you do
will do
this.
both splatter and or ribbon or bead spacing, correct?
Yeah, this gun will do bead and spatter pattern without an air compressor, which I believe
Without
is
an air compressor.
without an air compressor, no air
nice, very
compressor.
nice.
So
Now, do we have to cut this down for, say, spatter or beads, or does
we
it-
do not.
So it just stays
We
the
don't
same?
change the mixer. There is one other tip that clips on the end of it if we want to do splatter coat application.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's called the shower cap.
It is the shower cap.
Oh, nice.
It's something you don't need anymore because
Well, no.
we won't go there.
Yeah,
So last thing before we put this static mixer on, again, adhesives, they stick to everything really well. So we just put a little dab of grease on that green cap to try and help keep it clean. If your crew forgets to do that, it's not the end of the world. That cap is actually made out of silicone, so it's pretty inert. This just helps get a good clean break when you do change the static mixer off of this. Before I put that on there, one last thing I want to talk about. When you use this particular gun assembly, when you're done, you want to leave the static mixer on. And that's different from a lot of systems out there. A lot of times you got to get the static mixer off. You got to get things cleaned up before that adhesive cures.
Right.
This one, we actually want the adhesive to cure in the mixer. And again, this green valve is not going to allow that
One way to back up.
reaction to go back up into the gun. So you leave that on there and the cured adhesive helps seal it. It's really convenient though, because when you're done, you literally just drop the gun on the deck and walk away.
So another question for you,
Nice.
like a lot of systems out there, if you're spraying, you can only stop for a certain length of time. What about on this gun here?
Same thing here. You've probably got 60 seconds, 2 minutes. When your adhesive skins over on the deck, whatever time that is about the time you need to be changing your static mixer. Because if it's curing on the deck, it's curing in your static
So
mixer.
once you start, you want to just keep going.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Stay tuned. If you want to see more videos, go to gaf.com/roofingitright.